reparations for slavery. We want redistribution of all wealth, and we want to legalize mixed marriages. If that had been there, they had come out with a maximum program the very next day, they'd have been laughed at. Instead, they came out with a very minimum program. We just want to integrate these buses. The students a few years later came out with a very minimum program. We just want to sit at the lunch counter. But inside that minimum demand was a very radical kernel that eventually meant that from 1954 to 1968, complete revolution was on the table for this country. And I think that this green movement has to pursue those same steps and stages. Right now we're saying we want to move from suicidal gray capitalism to some kind of eco-capitalism where, at least we're not, fast-tracking the destruction of the whole planet. Will that be enough? No, it won't be enough. We want to go beyond systems of exploitation and oppression altogether, but that's a process. And I think what's great about the movement that's beginning to emerge is that the crisis is so severe in terms of joblessness, violence, and now ecological threats that people are willing to be both very pragmatic and very visionary. And so the green economy will start off as a small subset, and we're going to push it and push it and push it until it becomes the engine for transforming the whole society.
Green movement will transform the whole society. From that clip, we get a pretty strong understanding of Jones' feelings about capitalism, don't we? So much for, he's a big, giant capitalist pig now. I hate him. Really? From his own mouth, suicidal gray capitalism. And he mentions there that right now we're transitioning to eco-capitalism. But as he has said, that's not enough. He wants to go beyond the systems of, quote, exploitation and oppression. Does anybody recognize this language? Do you remember what he said about the Indians just a minute ago?
No more broken treaties. No more broken treaties. Give them the wealth. Give them the wealth.
Okay, got that? Here he is talking about finding ways and planting the seeds to change the whole system.
This movement is deeper than a solar panel. Deeper than a solar panel. Don't stop there. Don't stop there. No, we're going to change the whole system. We're going to change the whole thing. We're not going to put a new battery in a broken system. We want a new system. We want a new system.
This doesn't sound to me like a man who is content with just tweaking the current system. As regulatory czar Cass Sunstein is, this guy is spooky as well. I also find it interesting, if you caught it, that he mentioned how the public is faced with severe joblessness and violence. It's out of hand. He said that in April 2008, well, we had to go back and check, the unemployment rate was under 6% at the time, and the violence? What violence are we talking about here in America? Does he know something that we didn't know? Was I not watching TV during that really violent period? I mean, I've seen a couple of people lately get snippy with Arlen Specter at his town halls, but is that violence in Van's world? Maybe if he talked about severe scattered rudeness, I might give him a point or two. Or is this something else that we have talked about on this program? That you are seeing the foreshadowing of the necessary steps on the way to that radical kernel transforming into a beautiful, mighty communist oak tree. Let me tell you something. How long ago was it on this program that I said they named it Acorn for a reason? They named it Acorn because you plant that seed and it grows into a giant oak. I want you to understand this. This is not about Van Jones. Quite honestly, I wish it was. He is only one of the new extraordinarily radical appointees in this administration. This is about the policies of the Barack Obama administration. They don't make sense to you, right? You can't figure out how this all works, right? So take him at his word. We didn't set out to find some special advisor to the president and then see if we could mess with him. We set out to do what President Barack Obama told us to do, to judge him by those he surrounds himself with.
Who I associate with. On economic policy, I associate with Warren Buffett and former Fed Chairman Paul Volcker. If I'm interested in figuring out my foreign policy, I associate myself with my running mate Joe Biden or with Dick Lugar, the Republican ranking member on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, or General Jim Jones, the former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO. Those are the people, Democrats and Republicans, who have shaped my ideas and who will be surrounding me in the White House.
Really? America, help me out. And I mean this sincerely. I want another answer than the one that I have found. I have asked on this program over and over again. I welcome the White House responding and giving me another path. Stop just sending your minions out saying I'm crazy or I'm a conspiracy theorist. Really, you should stop that one. You've got 17 minutes. Stop with the name calling. I'm asking honest questions. Look at the board again, please. Look at the board. He's called himself an avowed communist. He says we need a whole new system. He wants to free a cop killer, a communist cop killer. He's a member of the Radical Storm, communist. He's a black nationalist. He wants to spread the wealth around. He says that whites are poisoning minorities and immigrants are being sprayed by toxins by Americans. Good God Almighty, is it not reasonable to ask for answers on this? But they won't give me any answers. They won't give you any answers. Nobody in Congress will give you an answer. Who the hell works for who? Whose country is this? Okay. So now this leads me with two questions. Seeing that we have these all in his words on video, here's the question. Did the president know? Did the president know about all of these? Did he? Who vetted this man? It would seem quite irresponsible if they didn't know. In fact, I'm going to go a step further. If the FBI vetted this man and they didn't know any of this stuff, good God Almighty, what has happened to the FBI? We have the President of the United States. If they knew all of this stuff, all of it, excuse me? If this man is here and he's standing next to the president and the FBI didn't know it, our president is in danger, because who else is getting through the security fence at the White House? Now, that's the first one. And that puts our president in danger if they didn't know. I don't believe that. And that demands an answer, because if it's true, we're in deep, deep trouble with our FBI. Our president is in trouble. Our nuclear codes are in trouble. If he did know all of this stuff, are we in trouble? Is our country in trouble? Is our planet in trouble? Does President Obama believe all of this stuff? Again, let me quote Van Jones. Personnel is policy. America can only be one of the two. Either the president is in trouble or we are in trouble. What's the answer?